speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. I'm 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 welcome to speak. Who you with, Kirk, dog? Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm who you with, Kirk, dog. Hopefully we are live this time. I don't know what's going on, but look like some platforms are not going live for some reason. But happy Sunday to everyone. Want to welcome everyone to the show. Hope you had a great weekend so far. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, D Live, as always, in the house. You can live chat with us in the chat room. You can also call in. But please, if you call in, please do not block your number. I will not answer. And you can also let us know how you feel about it. So tonight, we're going to talk about a couple of things. Marvin Scott III video was released of his murder in Collin County Jail, where a couple of months ago they actually decided not to press charges against the correction officers. So we're going to hit on that tonight. And also Edward Mathews. We all know the racist person from New Jersey that was called that one of his neighbors and made several racial slurs last week. The video actually went viral like a week, the Friday before. So we're going to talk about that, give an update on that. Then CPAC is in Dallas. Been in Dallas over the weekend. And Trump is here. Yeah, Trump is in Dallas. Yeah, so we'll talk about that also. You can also tune in. You can chat, just like T-Cal is doing, saying, hey, Kurt, welcome to the show, T-Cal. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for always supporting. Hopefully you had a great weekend so far. And hopefully everybody's been safe, because one thing they're not talking about on the news anymore is talking about how the Delta variant of COVID-19 is picking up speed. So that's something you have to be mindful about. So still protect yourself. Even if you had the vaccine, still wear your mask. That's the best thing you can do. If not, you can find yourself sick, because this Delta virus is it's no joke. We talked about it last week, where a church function here in Dallas, well, in Texas, I believe it was somewhere near Austin, somewhere down in that area. There was a church camp that actually over 100 people ended up getting infected with the COVID vaccine, with the Delta virus of COVID-19. So that's something that we need to stay focused on, continue to be mindful of it, and protect ourselves at all times. Just like they say in boxing, protect yourself at all times. We need to protect ourselves. Um, if you're tuning in on whatever platform you're on, please let me know if it's showing up, because I came live a while ago and for some reason it did not come through. Uh, None of them went live, even though it said I was live. So I had to reset the store, the show, and do it again. And I'm not sure if we're live on Facebook or not. So, um, but other than that, we about to get it started. T Cal said, "What? I didn't even know he was here." Yeah, the clown is in house in Texas and Dallas, and so since he in Dallas, I guess got to bring out the bobblehead on the toilet. Shout out to Radio Chaos for sending me this. Hey, I appreciate it. But yeah, and the clown is in the house. It's in Texas. Hopefully he's gone by now. Um, and he better hope he don't run into one of these little storms. Some of that dye might roll down. So, um, but I'm trying to check Facebook, because it look like it's actually going on. Okay, we're live on the Speak on It with Who You With Kurt Dog page. Speak on It with Who You With Kurt Dog page. So if you somehow ran across my personal page, so you need to switch over to the other page, Speak on It with Who You With Kurt Dog. Look like they doing some changes and not allowing both pages to come up anymore. So um, I will put a notice on that, because they're making changes all the time on this software. So, but tonight, we're gonna be on here. Well, I'm not gonna say that, because whenever I say that, we end up being on here for a couple of hours. But we're gonna talk about the Marvin Scott III video that was released. I believe it was released on Friday. Um, Over the weekend, it was released. Um, that video was pretty disturbing. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you haven't, please just Google Morgan, Morgan, Marvin Scott III video. Um, Very disturbing. I don't know how no charges did not come out of this, for the simple fact he was in the cell. Him and one officer was going having words back to back, and next thing you know, the video clip changes position. He's surrounded, being held down by several officers, and he was talking, and then all of a sudden, one of the officers take his mace out, his pepper spray out, spray him in the face. His mouth is open. Spray him in the face, and immediately after that, they put the spit mask over him, over his face. Now, take it, when they put the spit mask over his face, he turned around and uh, his legs start shaking. And as his leg was shaking, they removed the spit mask. And shortly after that, his body went motionless. And that's when they started perform CPR. It have to be some type of um, guidelines for that, for the simple fact, right after you spray this man or anybody, right after they're sprayed with pepper spray, you turn around, you cutting off the oxygen, because pepper spray is gonna burn, and now you putting a spit mask over him that is gonna cut off his ventilation. What do you expect to happen? So they need to have some different rules on how they do that. And they basically murdered Marvin Scott III. And it should have been charges brought up against some of these officers. But that's the reason why we need to make sure we are registered to vote for when these jury duties come around. We have that opportunity of sitting on the jury duties and also the grand jury to make it a fair game. Because when you have people sitting on the grand jury that don't look like you, they're going to vote the way they want to. And unfortunately, some of them vote by the color of their skin. So that's the way it is. Um, so welcome to the show, Marcella Smith. What's up, my people? It's the People Show. Man, that show hanging in. Um, Logie House. I know that's probably a fake account, but since you here, go ahead and like, share, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends we are live. We are live, but we have some house rules you need to follow, though. You need to be very respectful. Being disrespectful will get you cut off immediately. Also, come with truth. Come with truth. And if you think I'm playing, um, try me. Try me, and I will cut you off real quick. So other than that, everybody is welcome here. That's your opinion. You think Trump 2024? Okay. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that he should be allowed to get back in office? Why do you feel that way? Um, so I'm just asking you a question. Since you want to put all the comments up, let's talk about it. Let's have an open discussion. Um, okay, you saying Trump the man, border security. What's the difference? What's going on with the border? Why do you feel that way? Why do you saying because of the border security? What do the border security is part of it, but what about all the other things that's going on in this world? So only thing you coming up with is the border security. You need to have more issues than just border security. So uh, I'm asking you, why do you feel because of border security? Um, okay, apparently, see, this is the prime reason why the history of America need to be taught in school. They've been talking about border issues since the 1930s. And if you do your research on the border security, you will see they change laws and they always talked about the issue with the border since the 1930s. Now, here it is. You telling me from 1930 to 2021, nobody could have got that border wall built. Now, Trump is coming in as cap and save a hole and want to save the border. That's the only thing that he come in with to even got elected in 2016, the border security. But did it happen? No. He said Mexico was going to pay for the border security, for the border wall. That's what Trump said. That's the reason why a lot of people elected him. Then he also said people was going to get lock Hillary up for emails. Did it happen? No. But right now, Trump is being investigated in all areas that you can even think of. So, border security, it have to be more than just that. Is it because he's a racist? I'm asking. I want to know. Is that the reason why you support him? Because he's a racist? Yeah, I said a racist. Yes, he is a racist. His organizations are being investigated. Yes, they are. Apparently, you're not hearing about it because his CFO just got indicted last week. So apparently, oh, I know what it is. It's your first time tuning in, and you don't listen to the show. But if you keep listening, you will learn some things. So, um, so that's what we're dealing with. So I'm asking you, Uh, what's the deal with the border security? That's the only thing you could think of, just the border security? Do you think that's actually going to stop people from coming across? But I understand this your first time listening, and that's cool. I don't want it to be your last time. But let me explain something to you. In certain small towns, um, in certain small towns, along the border. Matter of fact, I believe it's maybe uh, either El Paso or Amarillo, one of those small towns. I remember missing my turn to turn into a truck stop. No, it was in Arizona. Um, uh, Turning into a truck stop, and I said, "Oh, I'll just go down the street, turn around, and come back." Well, once I got past the truck stop, I was in Mexico. There's no border security there. It's wide open. So the problem is they've been talking about border security since the 1930s, but nobody have done anything about it. Just like Greg Abbott here in Texas, he's talking about he's going to get the wall built with our tax money. But at the same time, as long as Greg Abbott been in office, he haven't said anything about the border wall this whole time, except for when Trump mentioned it. Now all of a sudden he want to go out and get the border built, want to get the wall built. Well, guess what? Republican been the leaders of Texas for over 20 years. They haven't said nothing about it now. The only reason why Greg Abbott talking about it now because he's trying to get reelected. And people like you, unfortunately, will believe exactly what he's saying because they're talking about certain key words that would trigger folks, that would make people believe them. Okay, they will say, "Oh, we're going to get the wall built," but racist folks, they would love to get that wall built because they feel that everybody that comes from Mexico is not good. Yes, they should come here the right way, but a wall is not going to stop them. Unfortunately, I see what you said. You said um, that your brother was murdered by an illegal immigrant. Do you know for sure he was illegal? Do you know for sure that it wasn't somebody that was born in the United States and just so happened to be a Hispanic and you just automatically assume he was illegal? So I'm just asking, do you know for sure he was illegal? Um, I seem to be triggered by words too, my guy. No, I go by facts. I go by facts. Anything we discuss on this show, you could go and research it yourself because we research everything that we do. Um, so you said it said yes. So you know for sure that your brother was murdered by illegal immigrant. Do you know the person name? Let's pull it up and see. Let's pull the person name up and see if he was illegal. So that's the way we operate on this show. We're all about facts, nothing more, nothing less, just facts. If you come with facts, we all good in the game. Um, I think I would know. Can't believe you're asking my thought. Uh, you said a lot of things. Not sure exactly. Oh, okay. I guess you're talking about the fact that your brother was murdered by allegedly an illegal immigrant. Um, uh, I agree with you, Marcella. Instead of pushing for border security, let's push for love for all mankind. And not only that, I'm gonna add something else on it. Why don't we fix our grid? Over 700 people lost their lives this past February due to the fact that the grid failed. Now, Greg Abbott will tell you he didn't know anything about it. He will tell you that. But before they started the rolling blackout, Greg Abbott also came out and said, well, we might have to do some rolling blackouts. So, yes, he knew about it. Every summer, we go through this here in Texas, every summer. And he claimed he didn't know anything about the grid, the issues that the grid was having. Well, every summer, we go through this. Every summer they come out, well, if we don't reserve the energy, we're going to have to do rolling blackouts. We're going to have to do rolling blackouts. Well, first of all, like I said, I know it's your first time here. I know it is. If you stick around, you will understand. This platform, we talk about the truth. I don't care who uh, I don't care who you deal with. I don't care if you're Republican, Independent, Democrat. It doesn't make a difference. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. I've said myself, I don't agree with everything Biden does. I sure don't. Yeah, Biden need to do more for the black community. Yes, he do. I've said it. And if you go back and watch the past videos, you will understand that. So yeah, I definitely said it. I also said during the election time, if Biden don't do what he say, he will be a one-term president. But I could tell you one thing that's not going to happen. Trump won't be back. So there you go. Hold on, you putting because I was born and raised here. I'm Texas bred all the way to my bone. But at the same time, we need to get these old thuggish ass leaders out of office, from Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, Ken Paxton, uh, Sid Miller. We need to get them all out. They not for everybody. We need leaders that's going to be for everybody. Um, uh, welcome to the show, for real. I don't know what you're talking about, for real, but yeah. Oh Lord. Marcellus, don't let your pops push a one-sided agenda. See, there you go. I said you got to be respectful now. You got to be respectful. But I know Marcellus. He support the show quite a bit. He can hold his weight. Um, we discuss everything. It's nobody off limit on here. I don't care who you represent. We don't divide them up. I call it like I see it. Um, see, I'm gonna just bypass that. That's not going to happen. What you're talking about, that's not going to happen. Explain. You got to express yourself a little bit more, using a couple of words and not going on with what you're talking about. You got to say a little bit more because of that. T-Cal said, leaving Texas is not an answer, no different than if you have an issue and someone tell you to leave America. Well, unfortunately, in the white community, they tell black folks all the time, go back to Africa. Well, guess what? I never been to Africa. But if you want to pay for me a round trip ticket, I'm all for it. So, uh, hell, I ain't never been there, but would love to go. So, people say it all the time to folks. Go back to your country. Well, let the truth be told. Your ancestors are not from here. Mm. The land was stolen from the beginning. Um, Exactly, T Cal. That's why you vote and let your voice be heard. Uh, yeah, he did. He definitely did. Uh, Marcellus, apparently he don't, because that's what I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. So he just one of those situations. So never heard a white person say go back to Africa. You must have your head down off in the sand, deep down, deep down in the sand. But hey, I expect it from somebody who's believe Trump is coming back. Um, but hey, it's all good. So, like I said, the video with um, Marvin Scott III is very disturbing. Hopefully, um, it get investigated by outside agency and justice can be done for that family. So, um, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and shout out to Ryan Orange, Detective Ryan Orange. I did get your email the other day, and been busy, but he did email me about the case, and I've read it. But I'm gonna have to go back to what you sent me and go off into it a little bit deeper. But I appreciate you for responding back to me and getting with me. Now, um, Edward Mathews, we know he came out saying all the racist slurs last week and to his neighbor, um, and basically called them every name except a child of God in the book. And a protest broke out. Well, we reported on Wednesday he was arrested. Either Wednesday or Thursday, he was arrested. Well, some new charges have came out. A lot of new charges. Charges from um, drug possession, weapon possession, um, what was it, stalking, all type of charges came out. And hate crime, which he's going to be there a little bit longer. So that's a good thing. Um, I'm glad they holding him accountable, which he should be, and hopefully this can set the tone for every other city when a minority person have to deal with a knucklehead like this. And because of that, maybe it can change America. But unfortunately, racism is taught in the home from a child because we're not born racist. It's taught. We could tell by the way some people leave certain comments um, in the chat room, or even the comments they leave after the show have ended. We could tell by that. We could tell by certain things that trigger certain people. We've seen all these videos of Karens and thieves and coming out and attacking folks that just trying to make a living. Maybe this will be the foundation for other cities to start taking this serious and taking action against people. Now, Edward Mathews, he was charged with uh, drug possession with the intent to sell. Now, take it on the video, he did say he'd been to prison 3 times. That's all he do is sell drugs. And then when a man approached him, when another man stood up for that family and approached him, he tried to back up and say, Oh man, I was wrong. It was just the alcohol. It was just the alcohol. Well, alcohol is a terrible thing if you don't know how to hold your liquor right. Um, and because of that, you're where you should be. So that's where we are with that. TCal said maybe since you're white, you may not have heard it. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Um, well, when you've been racial profile or it's a threat because of the color of your skin, it's hard not to think about race. When you see someone um, walking down an aisle at a store, and because you're a different race than them and they clench their purse or something or look at you crazy, um, it's because you're race. So it's hard not to see it. Or better yet, if you just driving down the street and a police come up and pull you over all because of the color of your race, how can you not think about race when you've been racial profile your whole life? Maybe you don't have that issue. Maybe you don't have black policemen pulling you over every time they see you. Maybe you don't have black people when they see you walking down the street, they change the side of the street. Maybe you don't have black people when they see you walking toward them, they clench their purse and go the other way. Maybe you don't have that issue. But guess what? That's been an issue in America all this time from the Bull Connors and the Jim Crows and on and on and on, the Klansmen attacking black families just because of the color of their skin, or better yet, even attacking uh, thriving black neighborhoods like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, Charlotte. Um, it been several other places, even down in Florida. You can do the history of it. Just pull it up and just Google how many black towns been attacked by racist folks. How many black folks been killed by a racist person? How many blacks been killed because of the color of their skin? So yeah, how can you avoid from looking at race? How can you? You can't. Because when it's brought up on you every day, you don't have a choice but to hit it head on. Here's another prime example. Because what you came in and said when you first came on the show was borderline racist. If you don't remember, uh, hold on, let me go up and tell you some of the things you said in case you forgot. Um, I look more like Marvin to me. Really? All black folks don't look alike. Oh, maybe you forgot about that. Are you Will Smith brother? Maybe you forgot about that too. See, you indicate all black folks look alike, but you say not to look at race. But when you make comments like that, how can I not look at race? So the thing is, how can I not look at it? Oh, I understand. I understand. You only want to look like it when it benefits you, when you're trying to make a point, but it failed. It failed. Um, TK said, I actually don't, but when race is thrown out there, I'm in. I think people say some race cause more division. Um, no, it's because people have brought it more to the forefront. See, back before 2016, people were scared to show their true color, but since Trump been came into office, they show their true colors now. That's why race is so much of a topic. If you was taught to love everyone, you would have understood what Marcellus was saying. Love all mankind. So if you was taught to love everyone, you would have understood that. And then let's talk about the fact that you said your brother was killed by an immigrant. So you brought up race then. You could have just said, well, hey, my brother was killed. But you had to express the fact it was an immigrant. Sorry for the loss of your brother. But at the same time, when you bring this up, when you're dealing with race and you use certain words about race, you're going to get these type of reactions. But like I said, please like the show, click the notification, subscribe to the channel for you can know whenever we come on live, you can chat live with us and we can have open discussion. Because the thing is, everybody is welcome here. Like Marcella say, it's the people show. You're part of the people. When you say people, it have nothing to do with race. Nothing at all. You see, here's another comment. I've been called cracker and other slurs. I had a gun pulled on me by a black man. Was it because of my race? I don't hold a grudge though. I've been pulled over for no reason several times. Well, unfortunately, I've been pulled over for having a nice car. A black man driving a nice car, not supposed to, in that cop eyes. So, yeah, there's some dirty folks out there that will do that. Uh, I have had people change the side of the street, dude. These are not racist. So what issues are they? Are you walking around in all black with a assault rifle on you or something? Okay, that's what you're saying as a white man. As a white man, that's what you're saying. Until you live a day in my shoes as a black man, you cannot tell me race don't exist. When it's presented to you, you can't tell me that. No, we're having a discussion. I'm responding to your answers. I'm responding to what you're saying. So that's why we have a discussion of race. I didn't have my show was not set up to talk about race today. But at the same time, you came in with all these comments and questions. I'm responding to you. Now I could just overlook your comments and just say to the hell with you and act like you're not there. But I'm giving you enough respect in responding to some of your comments. So I didn't say I'm a victim, but I have been victim of being black. So because I'm black, I see a lot more than you do. So it's a completely different because of that. Because your last oh, uh, I'm scanning through the message, see what I want to show and don't want to show. Um, um, Racists will say anything to try to make themselves look good, feel good, but because of your comments, how you started out, You see, it's nothing wrong with saying that I look like Marvin Scott III. You see nothing wrong saying that I look like Will Smith. And basically, you're indicating because I'm a black man, I look like them. That's how your conversation started out. So um, no, you did that before we talked about border security. So don't say that. Uh, it don't hurt me. Hell, don't you see the smile on my face? Hell, it don't hurt me. It's entertaining. So, uh, understand and agree that this is wrong to pull you over for that. Well, people do it all the time. It's just more open now. With technology today, we hear about it so much. Um, uh, I'm scanning through his comments so I could catch up with all of them. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. Like I said, please subscribe to the show, like, share, tell a friend. We are live. Doing live shows, you can live chat with us. So I have no problem with that. Marcella said that's even more of a reason to speak out against it. You didn't appreciate what happened to you, and we don't either. Liberty and justice for all. I agree with you. That's what it's all about. You don't know who that is. I don't know what you're talking about. Um, I said Will Smith because if you think so, okay. Now, so you get see once again, you getting us confused. You getting us confused. You're saying I look like Will Smith, but my last name is not Smith, so I don't know. Don't know what you're talking about. Uh, Well, because of the controversial stories that I talk about, you come in. First of all, if you read the title of the show, you come in talking about Trump 2024. All because you probably seen I have CPAC up there. You also seen that I have Trump at CPAC in Dallas and all of this. So you came in saying Trump 2024. We know what Trump stands for. Trump is a racist ass old man. Bottom line, ain't no other way of putting it. He's a racist. And if you go back and listen to the show, you'll see the reason why I feel that way. So um no, because when I display the message, the name of the person shows up. Just like now, your message is on display. So your name is up on the screen. So it's not my last name, Smith. No, it's not. Uh, well, hey, let's get them up. They remove all CPAC Trump speech. I don't know who did, but he probably said something wrong. Um, Boy, yeah, you need to wake up and smell the coffee or leave the drugs alone or something. Because talking about I seen Trump kissing old black ladies, dude, it's not a racist. A lot of like a racist would do anything to try to get people to like them. So, yeah, that's your opinion, though. That's your opinion. Um, what about freedom of speech? Everybody have their own opinion, but we only gonna deal with facts here. That's it. Don't come with conspiracy because we don't deal with conspiracy on this platform. So that's the difference. You come with facts, we can have a discussion until I say it's enough. So, oh Lord, Like I said, stick around. You don't know me. All right, you don't know me. Um, that's your opinion, though. That's your opinion, but please stick to facts. Stick to facts, please. Um, and you'll learn. Um, so, yeah. So, like I said earlier, that um, they had the CPAC here over the weekend, and it's kind of strange because they actually passed out a um, they actually passed out 7 tips to get Trump back in office. 7 tips to get Trump back in office sooner than later. Sooner than later. Basically saying they come up with a plan to get Trump back in office here pretty soon. Now, we've been hearing the rumors that Trump will be back in office in August, and some of the 7-point plan to restore Donald J. Trump in days, not years. Um, reverse this had Achilles heel, pull back the curtain on the horror show that is today Democrat Party. Watch Pelosi melt like the Wicked Witch of the West. See the Black Caucus and other key group flip unexpectedly and watch the tables turn. Witness a trusted conservative elected as Speaker of House and finally reverse suppress results of existing investigation into election racketeering. Correct the official record, revealed the Trump legitimate won the 2020 election. Um, the Speaker of the House draft article of impeachment for Biden Harris. Citizen Donald J. Trump is placed into the line of presidential successor behind Speaker of the House, um, behind the Vice President by electing him Speaker of the House. Um, da, da, da. Duly impeach, charge, and remove Biden Harris, whereby when they're all acts of said imposter while in office null and void and of no effect, then the duly elected Donald J. Trump resume his rightful place as U.S. president. They must have been smoking some good up in there. Because I'm like, that's they plan. That's what they planning on happening. This is what they gave out at CPAC. Um, so uh, that'll never happen. I can see you monitoring. Yeah. Um, but that's what they plan are to try to get Trump back in office. Now, apparently, somebody not on the same page because one day they say Trump will be back in August. I think the mattress guy or whatever the guy name is, one of those supporters said he'll be back August 13th. Then they come back and say they got upset when Trump announced a tour, I believe, with Bill O'Reilly later this year. And some of his supporters got upset for the simple fact they like, whoa, how can he go on tour if he's going to be the president? Now, take it at CPAC, they took a poll and they picked Trump as 2024 president elect, whatever that means, whatever they talking about. But um, and Trump in around about his run for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination. Now, here's the problem. Y'all are kind of confused. Now, y'all are not on the same page. So, one minute you say he'll be back in August. Matter of fact, let's go back. They said he'll be back January 6th. That's why the terrorist attack happened. They was going to overthrow our government. That didn't happen. Then they set another date. That didn't happen. Now it's August. It's not going to happen. And then turn around. They said he's going on tour. Trump saying he hint around he'll be back for 2024. And people still think he's coming back next month. Y'all need to get your stuff together, your stories together. And apparently, it's some chaos going on. No offense to radio chaos, but it's some chaos going on within the GOP because everybody is wishful thinking that this is going to happen. But it's not. It haven't happened, and it's not going to happen. You can make plans for 2024, but who guaranteed you going to be here? I'm going to be here. Or Trump going to be here? So why should we believe that? I'm just kind of curious. I'm asking the question because some of these people actually feel like Trump is coming back. Now, because of his all these investigation going on with him, I feel like an indictment coming down pretty soon. They just got the CFO last week, indicted him. Well, that's your opinion. He might be coming back, but he probably be coming back to defend himself in the courts. So he might be. He might be. So we will see. We definitely will see. But once again, um, a lot of people not going to deal with Trump. So, Logos House, let me ask you a question. I know you're obsessed with Trump, and that's cool. That's your opinion. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the terrorist attack that happened on January 6th? How do you feel about it? I'm just curious. How do you feel about it? Matter of fact, if it's too much um, to actually type, some of them did have guns. Yes, some of them did. Um, so if it's too much to type, I'm gonna put the number strolling across the stream, but I'm gonna put it for you can see it. You can call in, but two things: respect and do not block your number out. Because if you block your number, I'm not gonna answer. You become disrespectful. I'm gonna hang up on you. So we can have an open discussion about this. So definitely call in. Let us know. Um, I would love to know that myself, Marcellus. They didn't have gun and they were killed. Only one person was shot by Secret Service, which they should have been. Um, and actually, to be honest, once they breached the walls, yes, those officers had every right to defend those elected officials by any means necessary. So if they would have shot them, it would have been justified. Because here it is, you're breaking into Capitol Hill. So it would have been justified. We can agree on this. He said, I think they were idiots and I wouldn't have gone. Did you go? Because you said you wouldn't have gone. I'm just asking. I'm trying to get clarification. Did you go? Uh, American gained 7 million new jobs, more than 3 times government. Okay. You got to realize Trump actually inherited a good economy. He messed that up. He messed that up when he came in changing everything. Then when the pandemic hit, yes, a lot of jobs was lost. But then when they start opening things back up, the unemployment rate went back down. So that's not a plus for Trump. Uh, no, they never should have broke in there, destroying our building. They never should have done that. So don't change the narrative of the story. Call it like it is. They never should have went there and start to attack the officers where most of them say all the time back the blue, but we seen how they treated the blue on that day. Then on top of that, um, not only attacking the blue, but they goes into Capitol Hill with the intention of hurting folks. So yeah, don't change the narrative of the story. Call it just like it was. That's the best thing you could do. Now, that's where we're not going to agree on because I'm going to call it just like I seen it. It's no way to justify it. The way they was climbing up on the walls and putting noose up like it was climbing up on the wall like they was Spider-Man in a Tarzan movie or something. No, don't try to make it sugar coated. Call it just like it is. That's what we deal with is the truth. Call it like it is. Don't try to justify what they did. Call it out. That's what's wrong with most people today. They try to justify somebody else's action instead of calling them out on their BS. And if people did that more, we wouldn't have all these issues we are having. No way we would. Call it out like it is. Um, Bottom line is they are there to protect and serve. They broke into a government building. They had every right to open fire. That's just like when you seen the BLM protests outside of Capitol Hill. What they do, they had National Guard, state police, and also the Capitol Hill police lined up on the step, made sure nobody came up there. And if it would have been a Black Lives Matter, protests and they done that, they would have opened fire on them. But because it wasn't a Black Lives Matter protest, they didn't do that. Call it like it is. Call it like it is. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Call it like it is. You say you understand everybody, but call it like it is. That's your opinion, but it wasn't. It wasn't, because when the pandemic hit, which it never should have, but Trump came in after President Obama and fired the team to prevent pandemics. It never replaced that team. That's why we're still dealing with it now. And then he lied about it. He telling everybody, oh, it's just a cold. It's not that bad. It's just a cold. It's only gonna be like having a cold. It's not that bad. But I guess you was okay with him doing that. That's cool. Most Trump supporters are. Uh, Not up on the Trump. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. That's courtesy to what President Obama had in place. Um, that's what he had in place. Trump could have been a great president if he just followed the rules. But he came in and wanted to treat America like a reality TV show, and he failed terrible at it. Um, um, that I'm going through some of his messages because uh, the pandemic wasn't wrongfully handled. Mr. Trump advocate not to tell us to keep from scaring us. It cost us over 600,000 lines. Shame for Mr. Trump. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, because he basically lied to us. He lied. It's no other way of putting it. He lied. And then he finally said the only reason why he did it was to not scare us. But a lot of this could have been prevented. All of this could have been prevented because he could have came out and said, "Hey, I would respect Trump if he would have came out and said, look, we don't know nothing about this virus. But what we need to do as Americans, everyone needs to wear a mask." But what did he do? He downplayed it. He downplayed it until his back was up against the wall when he found out that radio show host is writing a book and he was going to tell everything they discussed off the air. Because Trump told us, oh, it's not that bad. But he was telling this radio host off the air, this is a terrible, terrible virus. It's real terrible. So yeah, if Trump would have came out from the beginning, I would give him just the 10, not a piece of respect. But because he didn't and he took it as a joke, he put all of us at risk. A lot of lives have been lost. A lot of lives have been lost, which is terrible. Very terrible. Um, I'm glad to know you wasn't okay with it. And you said they was idiot. When I first heard it, I thought it was uh, thought it was a game or something. I'm like, no, I know this can't be happening. But when I got home and seen it on the TV, and I said, you got to be kidding me. Um, negative, negative. I didn't agree with everything President Obama did. I did not agree with it. So you're trying to put words in my mouth. I don't agree with everything everybody do. So no, I did not agree with everything President Obama did. Um, I feel like President Obama should not have opened up the border to allow um, Mexico trucks to not only drive here, because for years they could drive here and deliver loads, or they had to stop at the border and drop the load there, and American trucking company would deliver it to the customer. But when they changed the rules to allow them to pick up loads here, that cut some of the money down that American trucks was making because they would underbid the American trucks just to take that freight. So yeah, I didn't agree with everything President Obama did. I don't agree with I can't only thing I probably agree with Trump because I have family members that told me how it impacted them was diabetic medication where he was able to get that lower. And that's about the only thing I agree with him. I don't agree with nothing else with him. So I don't agree with what everybody say bottom line. But this is also the same man that owed the Bank of China finna be $1 billion come up due. So yeah, Trump owed the Bank of China $1 billion. Yeah. So Biden wasn't the president. That was on Trump watch. Uh, well, if we had the team in place, if he would have kept that team in place, they could have and possibly protected us from it, just like Ebola. When that happened, it was a team in place to prevent it. Well, they came up with a cure for it pretty quick because once they heard it was coming, they was working on it. So if Trump left that team in place, yes, it's a possibility we wouldn't be dealing with this for over a year and a half. We don't know, but we do know he terminated that team as soon as he got in office. The border can't stop that, huh? I guess it can't. I guess it can't. So who brought the drugs first? Who brought the guns and crack to our neighborhoods? Yeah, we'll get off of that one. We'll get off of that one. Hey, Biden said he did not agree with everything he did, but he made changes. See, that's the problem with most folks. Some people don't want to make changes. Biden admit some of those bills he did back in the days was wrong. That's why he spent the last 30 years trying to change those bills because you got to change with time. And if you don't change with time and you stuck in the same 1960 ways, guess what? You don't want to change. But at least he's making a point to change. And I respect the fact that he admit he was wrong by some of those bills. He was wrong by those bills that he put into law. But he also said he spent this time changing those bills, trying to do right by those bills. Now, if he still had the same mindset, I wouldn't fool with him. Um, uh, well, guess who paying for that jet? Guess who paying for it? Because if they would have impeached him, he wouldn't have Secret Service detail. We wouldn't have to pay for that. We wouldn't have to pay for his transportations. And not only that, I seen an article over the weekend, and I forgot what it was, but he just charged, I want to say it was back in March, charged Secret Service outrageous amount for staying at his hotel to protect him. That's one reason why he's being investigated, because his inauguration party, it was at his hotel, and they raised the price, charged more than what they should have charged. They made plenty of money off of it. But I guess you're okay with that. But that's still our tax dollars. How about these small towns? Every time you hold a rally and they have to get their resources, police officer for security, fire department, paramedics, all emergency personnel's there in case anything happened. And he refused to pay those cities for providing those service for him while he was going from city to city for rallies. And he refused to pay those cities. Yeah. I'm sure you'll refresh your memory. Uh, you're right. The CIA did bring the drugs and guns to our neighborhoods. Why they didn't take them to the white neighborhood? Okay. Um, the man only been in the office since January. Yeah, he's trying to come up with the money to pay that $1 billion that's coming up due. Those small cities was not paid. We did a story on that. We did a story on where Trump refused to pay those small cities, and also still refused to pay Rudy Giuliani with all the boot licking he did for Trump, and he still refused to pay him. For who can create the vision? I guess you moving kind of slow. I don't know. But anyway, bottom line is Trump not coming back. He may try to run 2024. Um, but also with Trump, you got to realize another reason why Trump lost 2020 is for the fact a lot of people listen to his lies about this virus. A lot of people lost their loved ones because of this virus. You can't forget about losing a loved one to a virus that could have been prevented and could have been told the truth up front. So you cannot um, forget about that. And basically, a lot of Republicans refuse to vote for Trump. Then Trump want to go off and talk about voter fraud, mail-in ballot voter fraud, and stuff like that. So we all know that was a bag of bones. We know he was lying about it. Uh, um, Mail-in ballots have been legal for years. That's how our military have voted for years. Then on top of that, the only ones that they really caught that did voter fraud in the 2020 election, they voted for Trump. It's one elected official that voted for Trump 3 times. Um, well, no, he voted for him twice. He voted by mail in and he voted at the poll twice. And one guy voted for his wife that was missing at the time, voted for himself, and he mailed in her ballot, but didn't have her signature on it because she was missing. And he was later charged for her disappearing, I believe her murder. Another guy voted for his dead mother, then also requested a mail-in ballot for his mother-in-law. And that's what threw up the red flag because it had already been noted. She was deceased. And all of them get the same answer. I only did it for Trump can win. That's the only reason why I did it. Now, Loggy's house, ask you another question. Do you think the real history of America should be taught in schools? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Do you feel it should be taught in school? Excuse me. That was good. Um, just kind of curious. Do you feel it should be taught? Because I know here in Texas, they're trying to prevent it from being taught. Matter of fact, that's one of the things Trump said at um, he said at the CPAC. Let me find that story. Hopefully, I don't cut the speaker on. But that was one of the things he said that he don't want to. Hold on. Oh, I was not trying to do that. I'm glancing through it to keep from reading the whole thing. Uh, um, he talked about he don't want to have censorship on the race theories and stuff like that. Where the bottom line is, that's part of American history. That's the reason why we need to continue to teach our kids the true history of America. Yeah, America has things all on it from the time they first came and stole this land from a Native American. America have been uh, racist ever since. Yeah, reparations should be paid to black folks. We built this country. forced to build this country. So, yes, reparations should be paid. Yes, the true history of America should be told, taught in our school, in all the schools. It should be. But some people want us to forget about that. They want the history of America to die with us. They want the history of America to die with us, and our kids don't learn about them. But it need to be taught. That's why Texas, we have a fight on our hand next year. We have Greg Abbott coming up for re-election, which we need to get him out. How fun. I wouldn't pick him. Like I said, all up and down 35 going towards San Antonio, he had billboards up. Uh, stop the voter fraud from Hillsborough down to San Antonio, billboards. So he's thinking just like Trump. Um, Dan Patrick, we need to get rid of him too. He's the one that said he will pay $1 million out of his campaign fund to find any fraud. Ken Patson, he been on a hush hush lately because Texas State Bar Association is investigating him for all the bogus lawsuit that he filed trying to overturn our election, as well as him having not one but two criminal cases against him. Well, one is a criminal case, one is being investigated by the FBI for abusing his power. The first one is a financial fraud case out of Collin County. Sid Miller, he's unfortunately just like them. Board of Education is up for re-election next year. So it's a lot of things we need to do here in Texas for next year. Also, if you're not registered to vote, please get registered. If you are a ex-felon or spent time in prison, you have paid all your dues, you're off papers, go to vote.org. Vote.org and see if you could get your voter rights back. If you go to vote.org, you can find out in just a couple of seconds. And then also um, get registered, go out and vote for all elections. All elections. So if you're just not tuning in, you have been listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I am Who You With Kurt Dog. We will be making changes soon. We're trying to work out all the details, but continue to check us out for right now, Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time, Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time, on all of the platforms. And if you are used to listening to me on my personal Facebook page, you have to go to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog in order to be able to listen to the show. You can always participate in the show. Want to thank everyone who came on tonight. Whether if you said something or not, everybody is welcome. This is a platform for everyone. As Marcella say, it's the people's show. So continue to support the show. We thank you for listening. Until tomorrow night, if the good Lord say the same. Peace.